taking new measures to protect themselves.
Now carry a weapon on me. I used to do that before I moved up to Moscow. Moved to Moscow, thought it was super safe, stopped, and then this happened, and so at least if and until they find who did it, I'm going to continue carrying a weapon on me again. Until we have the details of sort of what caused the police to think it was a homicide, then I'm still not entirely sure about it.
What is up, iCkEdMeL? Welcome back. And the neighbor that's been interviewed a couple of times, Jeremy, he's spoken up on Reddit, and he's kind of snapping back a little bit at people that have been harassing him. And Bandera Rojo sent me this post on Reddit, and I thought it'd be a good read to go over. And again, I always say, like, don't be doing witch hunts. You know, yeah, this guy's on the news. Police are aware of him. I guess he literally lives next door. You're not going to go do something the police can't do by like searching, hunting down, doing all this kind of stuff. Anyway, 17 hours ago, Jeremy here, couple of preliminary matters. Okay. And his name, Stop Blaming Me, JR. This account was created today, within 24 hours. Couple of preliminary matters. This is a throwaway account, so I don't get harassed on my main account. Number 2, you all need to stop blaming me for something I had nothing to do with. Yes, I'm an incredibly awkward person, but that does not mean I have killed or attempted to kill anybody, which a lot of times, you know, I get phone calls from people. Sometimes they're kind of shy. They're kind of awkward. I can be kind of awkward sometimes too. I embrace awkwardness, but especially if you're like on TV or on the news, you know, it's like a thing. It's a serious situation. Everybody reacts differently. Everybody has these different tics and stuff like that. And I actually got asked towards the end of my live stream earlier today if I believe this guy has anything to do with it. And I said, no, I don't believe there's any indication. Hey, Icky, what's your opinion on the people speculating on the neighbor, Jeremy? I don't see any connection there. I don't have any inclination that he did anything. I just think it's interesting that he lives right next door and he can maybe give some insight, but doesn't know anything as far as the neighborhood, but doesn't know, or even the partying stuff, which was interesting, but it doesn't like particularly know anything about the crime more than anybody else does. So it goes on to say, I did not ask to do any of the interviews or seek them out in any way, nor did I claim to have any beneficial information about what happened. I was approached every time to do an interview and told the reporter beforehand that I did not know anything. They still wanted to interview me due to the proximity, so I said sure. Number 3, for the first interview, the reporter knocked on my door and asked if I would do the interview since I live so close. For the second interview, I was taking my trash out to the dumpster before I left for Thanksgiving break, and the reporter approached me while I still had the trash in my hand and asked if I would do an interview. Obviously, she let me throw it out before doing the interview. I'm the type of person that will do something for someone else if doing so won't cause me physical or financial harm. Hence the reason I said yes to the interviews. I also didn't expect to be contacted by the national news outlets. I was shopping for my grandma when I received emails from CNN and Fox and Friends stating that they saw my interviews and wanted me for an interview on their network. So I told them I didn't know anything, but like the other reporters, they still wanted me on because of how close I live. Now that that's out of the way, to some of the rumors. Number 1, I do not work, nor have I ever worked at the bagel shop in Moscow Bagels. Okay, I haven't even heard of that. I've only eaten food there 3 to 4 times since I've been in Moscow. I keep saying Moscow. I know everybody keeps correcting me. Moscow. The photo of my face staring into the sky like I'm daydreaming is clearly photoshopped. I have not even seen none of this crazy shit that these people are doing or claiming on the internet. I've really just looked at this guy's public interviews. I haven't had the thought, let me go investigate this guy personally and his friends and his family and look into his daily eating habits of where he goes to eat his bagels and shit. The Photoshop skills are almost good enough that you can't see the original head underneath where my face was placed. I guess there's trolls. The other photo I've seen with 4 people outside and a guy with a similar facial hair and a hat does not include me. The guy's chin is too skinny to be me. He is too tall. I also don't own a hat like the one he is wearing. Number 2, yes, I rambled during interviews. The first interview I did, black t-shirt, had the majority of what I said edited out. And a quick note on that, I always recommend, if you're a civilian, it's kind of different, but I even just legally, to cover yourself. If you're going to do an interview with the news, always have somebody recording you or record yourself. When I was interviewed by KHU regarding Malia Davis, that's exactly what I did. They post little short clips and segments because of the TV show, but I would say always cover yourself and have the full entirety of the interview in case. Majority of what I said was edited out, so I figured the second one, Beanie and Coat, would be the same way. I was wrong because clearly most of what I said was aired in the second interview. I did change the verb tense of a sentence part way through. That was because what my brain was trying to say and what my mouth was saying would have come out incoherent if I hadn't corrected the tense. Don't act like none of you have ever changed a few words when speaking because you realize the sentence would have sounded weird without correction. It's a normal thing to do when you're speaking about something you didn't know you were going to be speaking about. Number 3. Yes, I had my thumbs in the thumb holes during that second interview. It wasn't bandages. And I remember people talking, I didn't even know what they were talking about. I had heard some people saying something about bandages and did you see that and look and blah, blah, blah. I wasn't trying to hide anything. Having my thumb in the thumb holes is the natural position when I put my arms in my sleeves because they're built into my coat sleeves. Plus, it was cold outside. If I was trying to hide any injuries, why would I have worn nothing but a t-shirt during my first interview? Don't you think either of the two people speaking with me would have noticed something on my arms or hands? Some of you are trying to use logic so hard that you forget logic exists when you're reaching your ridiculous conclusions. Seems like Jeremy is fed up, and I realized he made a really, really lengthy post. So he must be, Number 4, yes, I said I would see people through the windows while I was taking my dog out. That doesn't mean I was being creepy or staring in their windows. First of all, go find the video from the interview room on YouTube because the people went to the location and filmed everything in the area to give a complete picture of what the entire neighborhood looks like. Second, the staircase that is directly across the driveway from the house that leads to the large grassy field across Taylor Avenue is the path my dog uses to get to and from the field and my apartment. If I were to walk up the stairs and walk in a completely straight line from there, I would walk directly into the front of the house. Where else am I supposed to look when my direct line of sight forward is straight at the house? Do you want me to stare at my feet like a weirdo? Do none of you ever look at your surroundings as you walk? Oops. Sorry for all the wannabe internet detectives probably haven't seen an actual sunlight in years. There's nothing creepy or weird about noticing my surroundings as I'm walking back to my apartment, especially if there is movement in the windows because people are moving around inside. 4, I've never been inside the house. The one time I was even within a few feet of the house was when I found a phone left on the staircase mentioned above one morning last semester. Oh, what? The one time that I was even within a few feet of the house was the one time I found a phone left on the staircase mentioned above one morning last semester. I went around to all the houses in the neighborhood to see if anyone knew whose phone it was because I figured someone had lost it after leaving one of the parties the night before. A woman answered the door and she said she didn't know who the phone belonged to, so I went to the next house. That is the only time I've interacted with anyone living at 1122 King Road. And it was different people that lived there at the time. Bro, I get the need wanting to explain yourself, of course, and defend yourself and whatever, all that stuff, right? But the more and more information that's being divulged here, as I'm reading this, I'm thinking, damn, they're going to be but this and that, it's never going to be good enough. And he's frustrated. And it's kind of ironic mentioning the interview room because I remember he was a part of that whole witch hunt of some random guy on Twitter that had nothing to do with anything. I'm trying to remember what case. I think it was Gabby Petito when he swore up and down that it was some guy on the internet on Twitter that it was Brian Laundrie. And it was a crazy ass witch hunt. Number 5, I did not know any of the people, even though they also had a dog. I also don't know the names of anyone else in this area who has a dog either. I could identify most or all of the people in this area that have dogs if you were to place them in a lineup. What? I could identify most or all the people in this area that have dogs if you were to place them in a lineup, but I couldn't tell you any of their names. Before the incident, none of them could tell you my name either. None of you personally know me, but if you were to ask literally any person at the dog park I go to, other than the person I go to school with, if they know my name or if I know theirs, every single person would say no. I take my dog there. I put my headphones on. I walk around as my dog runs and plays with other dogs. I don't talk with people. I don't know because I don't like small talk and I don't care about their personal life. Maybe that's something like Asperger's or autism. Maybe I'm just antisocial and awkward unless I go get tested. Dude, is this a real post from this person? The world may never know. 5.1. You can ask just about every person I go to school with. If I'm a social butterfly, they'll all likely say no because I don't talk with most people. I have my small friend group that I talk to, and that's about it. I'll have a conversation with someone if they start talking to me, but I rarely start the conversation because that's just not my personality. So when you all come for me saying I'm acting awkward in the interview or I'm smiling, which a lot of people have been criticizing this guy for the smiling thing, that's what makes you think it really is this person when I shouldn't be. That's partly me being nervous to talk to someone on camera, or partly my natural awkward personality or lack of social awareness. If you all notice, I barely have social media, and what little I do have doesn't involve pictures. That's because I don't like cameras. I'm not scared of being filmed or having my picture taken, but I'm not a fan of cameras in general. Number 6, for all of you that believe psychic/mediums, first of all, why? Yes, I used to be a hunter. My mom did in fact post on Facebook that I had shot a deer back in 2012. I haven't been hunting since 2013, so to say that I'm a hunter is a bit of a stretch. That's like saying I'm a painter because I painted a picture back in 7th grade art class. And I have heard something about that too. People looking at his like family stuff and they found like one picture of his mom. And a lot of people out there have hunted at some point, or some people do hunting out there. I believe seems like the culture out there. I could be wrong. 6.1. The psychic, one of the two, but I don't know either of their names, stated that the spirits, gave her spirit energy that the killer lived to the right of the house when you're looking at the house. I live to the left. Checkmate, you stupid ghost. No, but seriously, why would you trust someone who is listening to the voices in their head? I've seen a lot of these people too, like they download an app or they have this machine that makes this static sound and goes and just like, oh yeah, that's where the person is. No, but seriously, why would you trust someone who is listening to voices in their head? If she were on a park bench rather than on her computer with a microphone, do you really think you trust what she said? No, you think she'd needed to take some schizophrenia medicine and to check herself into a mental hospital for a bit. What's she gonna do next? Use a Ouija board and have spirits spell the killer's name? Probably. Number 7. Yes, I used to carry a gun on me before I moved to Moscow. I carried it on me for the entire first semester I was up here too. Then I realized Moscow was much less sketchy than where I used to live, so I stopped carrying it on me. After the murders happened, I started carrying it again for protection of myself and others if needed. Me saying that I started carrying a weapon again wasn't an excuse to carry around a big knife that everyone has been claiming was the murder weapon. I don't carry knives because guns are infinitively better for self-defense and are 100% legal to carry in Idaho. Canceled. Number 8. All of you comparing me to, this has got to be the guy. All of you comparing me to Stephen McDaniel simply because I'm a law student, or saying I'm a law student so I know how to get away with crimes, are ignorant a-holes. First of all, I'm not a murderer, so I don't appreciate being compared to one. Second, law school isn't like it's shown in How to Get Away with Murder. They teach us the rules of evidence, not how to hide evidence. They teach about property law, not how to steal property, adverse possession aside. They teach us the law surrounding assault and battery and murder, not how to successfully commit those crimes. If your knowledge of law school and the legal system comes from a television screen, I hate to tell you, but you don't actually know much of what actually happens. TV glamorizes the 5% of law that's actually exciting and leaves 95% off screen because it's boring and incredibly slow. With all that said, feel free to go outside, stretch your legs, breathe some fresh air, touch some grass, and stop trying to pin this on me simply because I did interviews and didn't fit the exact mold of what you think I should have looked like or sounded like. If you think you found the missing link connecting me to the murders, think again, because there is no link, because I did not kill Ethan, Xana, Madison, or Kaylee. So there's just a few more posts, shorter posts that we have to read. But the Stephen McDaniel thing, when we were watching one of the interviews of Jeremy, and somebody had mentioned it in the chat, I thought it was hilarious, because we've seen the actual interrogation. We've seen where he was there in the news and like the whole awkward situation. But it was just funny, kind of in a joking way, satire.
No idea where she's at?
No.
You have no idea where she's at?
No.
Okay.
Yo, look how he's kicking back. He threw his legs up. This guy's, where's this detective at now?
Yes.
He's taking a call too. What is this?
You can't help me out a little bit?
Yeah,
Can't
bro.
help me out?
I don't know.
You don't know anybody. At all.
Like I said again, I didn't think this guy was involved or anything like that, or seriously thinking or investigating or looking into this guy like he's involved. So somebody commented under his post and said, "Why did you make comments on Facebook posts about stabbing? Why were those comments insensitive?" Jeremy responds, "I only commented on a post about stabbings in my state. Not that I wanted to stab people." And I did see somewhere that somebody had taken a screenshot of his comment and said that he must have did it because of his comment on it. I don't even remember what it said. He said, "I was also being sarcastic because a bunch of people at the time were calling for gun control based on shootings that had happened recently, and others were saying stupid things like guns don't kill people, people kill people. I made a sarcastic remark about needing knife control because it was a poor attempt at humor. I have a very dark sense of humor, but it doesn't mean I support violence. That's what I meant by the comment." And that's a common thing that I've heard where people talk about knife and knife control and gun stuff. And if you're going to control guns, like sarcasm kind of stuff. I've heard that, those type of things before. And to the poisonous lube article I've seen people talking about, when I said A+ execution, I don't even know what that's about. It was in regards to the husband successfully putting poison ivy into the lube, not him killing his wife. The wife was fine, but had an itchy crotch for a while. Execution doesn't always mean death. When a gymnast does a routine successfully, the announcers say that was a great execution by so on and so. I don't even know what that whole. Like I said, I didn't look into this guy. I didn't even see the reason to, especially dig into all his history and years of posts or whatever, or where he eats his lunch and stuff. And so 7 hours ago, other than posting a picture of myself, not going to, what would I have to do to prove I am who I claim to be? Would I have to say I'll be on CNN tonight on Aaron Burnett's show around 7:45 p.m. Eastern? I'm going to check that out. How about that I'll be interviewed tomorrow by 2 women with Original Media Group? Would that suffice? Edit. The CNN interview was canceled due to other news needing the airwaves. So he put this screenshot and it says here, "Oh, got it. Thank you. Have you spoken with police again since we last connected? Have you seen any more police activity in your neighborhood?" Says, "No, I haven't spoken to them again yet. One of my professors is a prosecutor for the Latah County, so I'm going to talk with her today about what I need to do to get my name cleared so people stop speculating online and dragging my name and reputation through the mud. Apparently people on Reddit and Twitter, bro, this stuff, it's going to die out and it's going to go away. But stuff like this is going to reignite probably people's looks and suspicions. I wouldn't keep like going and going and going and going. Depending, I don't know what's happening to you personally. I don't know who people are actually coming for you. People are showing up to your place or what exactly is going on. And it says, "Jeremy, thanks for your patience. After our afternoon meeting, I just got word some changes to our rundown due to the China story that is taking up a lot of our airtime today. And it sounds like we'll have to stand down on this. I apologize for the change in plans. Thanks for being available," which is totally plausible. I've had that happen to me before with like reporters where we were supposed to do something and it cancels. Things change all the time, last minute. And somebody replied to this post and said, I hope people aren't actually harassing you. I'm sorry this sub has speculated. I think law enforcement keeping things so tight-lipped has caused people to suspect a lot of folks. It's like when someone says we need to talk later and you spend the next few hours trying to figure out what it could be about. If you really want people to leave you alone, I think keeping quiet and letting LE figure out is your best bet, which I agree with too. Like I said, again, I understand feeling the need to like address, but then when you're providing a whole bunch of additional information, it's going to get these people more riled up into looking into other things. And, you know, even me covering it is going to give it attention. But, you know, I think it's also kind of giving his perspective inside. Again, for the normal, rational, sane people, they're not going to do this crazy shit that the few people maybe are doing. Jeremy replies, it's not too bad yet. I've had a couple people try to harass me on other social media websites. They're trying to reach out to my friends as well, which is why I wanted to stop. I don't mind dealing with internet trolls myself because I have thick skin and don't let the words bother me, but I don't want my friends having to deal with these people for no reason, which I completely understand. You guys comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this whole situation. You know, should he stop? What are your thoughts on the interviews? And I guess he's going to do more interviews, which is, you know, it's his choice. Thank you for all the support. Please hit the like button, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, and see you on the next stream. Peace. Bloop, bloop.